This story is actually an update to a post from our community tab right here on YouTube. If you are not aware, I share stories that have minimal information available almost daily via our community tab. Welcome to Young Black Lives Honored. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload or post. Let me know your thoughts about this case in the comment section below, and I encourage you to leave heartwarming messages for those who are still reeling from this loss. Shortly before 6:30 p.m. on December 3rd, 2022, a 21-year-old driver of a red SUV and 4 teenage passengers were on their way home from football practice at the Legend Center. They were stopped at the intersection of Moncrief Road and New Kings Road when suddenly an unknown suspect opened fire on the SUV, wounding the driver and 2 of the juvenile passengers. Not long after, another football player's mother knocked on the door of Chantel Brown's home to inform her that her son had been wounded. She rushed to the scene. The victims were taken to the hospital where tragically 13-year-old Princeabzavien Holland, affectionately known as Dede, passed away. The driver, 21-year-old Jalen Burrows, a football coach, had been hit 10 times and was listed in critical condition, while an 11-year-old passenger was listed in stable condition. The other 2 teens, a 14 and 15-year-old, were reported as uninjured. An attorney for the driver and his family said that the 21-year-old tried to shield the children from the discharges. He underwent several surgeries following the incident.
The gentleman that was on the ground was the coach. I mean, to just talk to him, tried to keep him on. Because he kept going in and out, so I mainly talking to him, trying to keep him from going to sleep.
Oh, so you were trying to keep him conscious?
Yeah.
Did you happen to see a vehicle peel away? Could you hear a vehicle speed away?
I'm not going to comment to that.
He can't never walk back in here. I can't take him to school. I can't pick him up from school. And I can't take him to practice. I can't go to his games. My baby wanted to be a wide receiver on the Chiefs, for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I can't see that.
His mother, Chantel Brown, says their home hasn't been the same since.
You know how hard it is not to break down. You got other kids and people you got to be strong for, or the fact that you got to try not to break down so that you can make sure that your son has a proper burial.
Prince's father, Sammy Holland, also spoke to media sources.
Only thing I know is my son innocently got for whatever reason. I just hope they step forward and let the Jacksonville Sheriff Office know what's going on, because my son was innocent. My oldest son had called me and said that a friend of his was calling him, telling him that Prince got out. And I didn't quite hear him at first. And when he did tell me, I don't know, my heart just went to racing, like I didn't understand what was going on.
Holland says he was in a state of shock and speechless. He says he went to the scene immediately after the call, but was not able to see his son because the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office was investigating the scene.
According to head coach Michael Holmes, he had met Prince at a gas station and invited him to be a part of his new football organization called Ambitious Kings and Queens Lions. The SUV's occupants had been leaving their first practice/meet and greet.
He said, "Oh snap, I can't leave the store without getting my little sister a soda. I can't forget about my little sister." And right then, I ran to my car and I got him a flight because I have a little sister. So like that immediately, you know what I'm saying, touched my heart with a young man.
Holmes then invited Holland to be a part of his new football organization. They had their first practice Saturday. Holmes says practice ended around 6 p.m.
I was devastated, like my heart immediately like dropped to the floor, like I didn't know what to think. You know what I'm saying? I immediately started crying. I'm so hurt and still hurt, like I can't even sleep at night. Like everybody look at it, it's like football and like I tell everybody else, it's deeper than that. Every kid that come to me, they're a part of me.
4 days later, over 100 mourners showed up to a candlelight vigil held in Prince's honor.
I can't even say how I love him. Not one child, it's not two child, it's a national act. Y'all need to stop this violence, put y'all guns down, be men, be adults, protect these kids.
Holland's girlfriend and her mom lived close to this location and said they heard the shots but never thought it would involve Holland.
He always lit up a room whenever he walked into it, always happy, never sad or anything.
How did you find out about this?
I was in my house and my friends came over and told me that he had passed away. That way nobody came up to me in school and tried to tell me about it, and I was like blindsided.
This stuff is preventable. There is absolutely no reason. Nobody's life is worth this, especially a child, when a child had nothing to do with whatever was going on.
Nathaniel Farley IV was a close friend.
It's just a good person to hang around with, like a brother.
Gun violence is not the answer. When I grew up, we fought. Fist fight. Then when you got your butt whooped, it was over. If you want to try it again, you did it again. But you didn't heal, you didn't cut, you didn't do any of that.
Holland was laid to rest 7 days after his passing, and family, friends, neighbors, classmates, and strangers showed up in numbers to celebrate his life. Dede was the youngest of 8 and known for being at church every Sunday, in addition to his love of football, especially the Kansas City Chiefs. Holland was described as a protector and mentor to his friends, who he brought to church with him, as well as inspired to get into sports instead of the street. He was an honor roll student and was remembered for his kindness, as shown by cutting his neighbors' lawns. Prince's dream was to become a wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. Many attendees wore red and gold, the Chiefs' colors, at the family's request. A little over 2 weeks following the tragic incident, Prince's family and their attorney announced they would be launching an investigation into the organization. His mother, Chantel, said the coach did not have permission to give Prince a ride home that night. This prompted a response from the organization's head coach.
My son didn't get to come home, and he can never come home again.
Chantel Brown's first Christmas without her son Prince.
So y'all imagine Christmases and birthdays, New Year's, holidays. I don't get that, and I'll never have it again. I should not have to go off the memories of my 13-year-old.
She said Prince and some friends walked to the Legends Center for football tryouts with the ambitious Kings and Queens Lions youth organization and were supposed to walk home together. But her attorney says the coaching staff suggested Prince and some other teens ride home with one of the coaches. Brown said no one asked for permission to drive him home.
I can't hug my baby. I can't even kiss my baby goodnight. Why? Because you couldn't make a phone call and ask me, was it okay?
The president of the youth sports organization said Prince and the other teens in the car had told coaching staff they did have permission from their parents to get a ride home. He also said the organization was brand new and in the process of getting waivers from parents. He said he told Prince multiple times to have his parents reach out to him. An attorney for Prince's family says they are investigating the organization and plan to pursue legal action if they find the youth league did not act properly.
We want to dot our I's and cross our T's and find out what happened.
He says he feels his organization is being slandered when all he was trying to do is a good deed.
We was really just trying to give back to these kids in the community.
Thing is this, y'all are not contacting parents. Y'all not following protocol. My son has played for another team before, and those people would not take him home without contacting me. Asking, was it okay?
Holmes says the tryout was a meet and greet event, and they were gathering information from players on the field so they could have the opportunity to send out a waiver to family.
Like, that's what the flight for parents and for anybody interested to reach out to get information. Like, if we was hiding something, if we was doing something wrong, we wouldn't have our name and our phone contact information on flights that we were passing out, sending home to kids.
Holmes says on December 3rd, just shortly before the tryouts, the kids showed up in front of his home. He says he asked the kids in advance if their parents were aware of the coaches driving them to and from practice. Holmes says he and other coaches split the kids up amongst the coaches' cars. He says Prince rode to the football field with the athletic director, and he left with them when tryouts were finished.
And we being slandered and made bad guys for no reason. Like, and we did absolutely nothing wrong.
On July 9, 2023, Jacksonville police announced that 22-year-old Marcel Johnson was arrested and charged with second-degree fatality, 4 counts of attempted second-degree fatality, and discharging or throwing deadly missiles. The sheriff's office said the gangs involved were known as 3 and 320. Marcel is a self-proclaimed rapper who goes by the moniker Spaz Sobroki.
And we know Johnson didn't commit these horrific crimes alone. We will continue to use all of our resources to bring those involved to justice. Because there is an ongoing investigation, there's very little that I can share about the facts of this case at this time. But what I can tell you is that this shooting was a culmination of escalating violence between 2 rival street groups. It was targeted, planned, and it was horrendous. I want to take this opportunity to speak directly to those who committed these crimes with Johnson. We're coming for you. We won't rest. We will not tire, and you will be held accountable. Today, the first domino in this violent chain has fallen, and it won't be the last.
Things that we know involved are a group called 3 and 320.
No, we don't typically like to use those names because we don't want to give them any credit or any clout. But in this case, we will, so the community can know who they are and what they've done, what they've been involved in, what they help cause.
Alicia, you also received a statement from the driver's attorney.
Yes, I did, Joy. And it says, I want to thank everyone for the prayers and support. I was shot 10 times and I've been through 13 surgeries and many more procedures. But I'm certain the prayers and love for the community has helped. All I wanted to do was give youth an alternative and show them how football unites and lifts us up. We've met with detectives and my attorney has helped them with interviews. We are here to assist JSO. We thank them for making an arrest and look forward to justice. Love, Jalen.
Records showed Johnson, who had 2 other minor arrests in 2019, was charged on December 15th with marijuana possession and resisting police. After completing this video, more information about the case was released. According to an arrest and booking report from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, investigators believe that the vehicle Prince was a passenger in had been chased immediately before the fatal incident. When the SUV approached the intersection, the suspect's car, identified as a blue 2020 Kia Rio, was positioned next to the victim's car on the driver's side, according to the report. Once the vehicles were next to each other, someone from the suspect's vehicle began firing at the SUV before speeding away. Detectives were able to link a blue Rio to Johnson's family member, and she later confirmed to detectives that he was using her vehicle at the time of the incident. Following a search of social media, investigators identified Marcel as a suspect. They also learned that 2 days following Prince's passing, Johnson went live on his Instagram page where he could be observed holding a semi-automatic weapon. During the live, he was allegedly speaking about a man who was fighting for his life in the hospital at UF Health Jacksonville. He was also conversing with one of the viewers in the comments, and during the exchange, the commenter said, quote, "Innocence gets no points," end of quote, a reference authorities believe aligned with Prince's fatality. A review of Marcel's Twitter showed that he repped 320 in his bio. Investigators were also able to find Johnson's phone number and provider and obtained a search warrant for his call records and geolocation. His cellular location confirmed he was in the area of the incident before and after. However, it was noted that there was no cellular activity during the time frame of the tragic incident. When officials first spoke to Johnson, he denied any involvement in Prince's fatality. The man told police that others were involved and had stolen his grandmother's car from him. He allegedly referred to a co-suspect, though additional information regarding such has not been revealed at this time. The remainder of the conversation is redacted from the most recent release of the reports, but it is evident that there was more to the interview. Anyone with information regarding this case is asked to call Crime Stoppers, where you can leave an anonymous tip at 866-845-TIPS. That's 866-845-8477, or email rewards@fccrimestoppers.com. Additionally, you can contact Jacksonville Sheriff's Office non-emergency number at 904-630-0500, or email jsocrimetips@jaxsheriff.org. There was a $14,000 reward for information which led to an arrest, which included $9,000 offered by Crime Stoppers and $5,000 offered by the attorney of the coach who was wounded. But I am unsure if, given the news of one arrest thus far, if the award is still available. Nevertheless, I still implore you, if you have information, to report it. May the family and friends of Prince Holland find solace in the happy memories, and may his soul rest in perpetual peace. Thank you.